Give it to me straight, and let me give it back. React. Fall. Attack. Give it to me straight, and let me give it back. Give it to me straight, and let me give it back. React. Fall. Attack. Give it to me straight, and let me give it back. Give it to me straight, and let me give it back. React.
Shalom, shalom. I hope you guys are awake now. Hi, everyone. How you doing? Hello. Nice to see you. Hello, Toria. Hello, Haru. Hello, Wakanyan. Hello, Jeff Papos. Hello, Arne. Hello, Sky. And hello for everyone watching. How are you doing today? Hi, Raditz. Hello. I'm still sick, but I'm happy to be here. And we're having a very special episode of the podcast today. So thank you for tuning in. But let's go over to our podcast scene. Let's see. Hello, hello. Well, you might already know me. I am DigiShell, Tamagotchi VTuber, and I'm the host of the Host in the Shell podcast here with a very special guest. Suno, thank you. Special guest, please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Saria. I am a DJ, event organizer, and producer from the UK, and I specialize and I love hard dance music. Thank you so much for having me.
Hi, Saria, and thank you for bringing us this wonderful music, which we are listening to right now. The Digi-Rogan, yeah, kinda. You could say that. You shouldn't, but you could. I won't stop you. And yeah, so wait, let me put on some music that will most likely not get me demonetized. Give me a
It should be fine. It's my music.
It's your music. We should have made it so I'm like whitelisted before we started, but I forgot about that.
I don't know how that works. I'll just be angry at YouTube or whoever afterwards.
We'll just put some relaxing beats to study to on for now. Hi, Cholera Epidemic. Hello, nice to meet you. And yeah, so for you guys that don't know yet, I host the show, Host in the Shell, where I interview different creatives, ask them about their journey, ask them about what they're doing, and maybe we can all learn something from them. Bernie, hi! Hello! So yes, Saria, so you said you're a DJ from the UK.
Yes.
How did you start DJing?
Like how I got into it?
Mm-hmm.
So I have been listening to dance music like basically my whole life. So it's just something I've always been really passionate about. I guess the short version of the story is that I met like a group of friends that all DJ like J-core and hard dance music. And they host events. It's a group called Ants Time, and I was trying to help them out with like organizing essentially like Twitch stream events. And at some point they were just like, oh, why don't you just try mixing? Obviously you love the music so much, and it's all you need is a library. So I thought, okay, well, I'll just give it a go. I installed a free program called Virtual DJ and started mixing just with a mouse, like not a controller or anything. And I loved it. I've never looked back since, and now here I am.
So library, is that like a sample library? Is that how you can like imagine
Just my
that?
music library. So it's just all my folders full of dance music that I used to put my DJ sets together with.
Oh, that's so cool. And you didn't even have like a I don't know what you call it. In German we say Mischpult. That means like I guess a table? What do you call it?
Controller?
Like yeah,
DJ
like
controller?
yeah, like a
Yes.
DJ controller, yeah. And let me hydrate real quick.
Yeah, so essentially DJing is just playing one song and like mixing or fading it into another song. So you don't need a controller to do it. Obviously it's a lot more precise, and it's why everyone does use controllers, or CDJs is the big club ones are called. But you can do it on a PC with a mouse and keyboard just as easily. Well, not as easily, but you can still do it.
I see. And that was like your first foray into DJing.
Yeah, that was last year around May time, which is crazy to think that it's not even been a year yet.
And you've improved so much in that year. Also,
Oh, thank
Buffos,
you.
we won't do these during the podcast, but I'll refund you your points, and we will do that next stream. Because during the podcast, we're kind of focusing at our guest first, you know. But I'll remember for next time. I'll write it down, and you'll get your redeem. Here, let me pause all of these real quick. Let me just pause all of these. Okay. I'm very sorry. Okay. But yeah, no, I completely understand. That must have made you so nervous to do that for the first time.
Yeah, so I think I made the realization not that long ago that I don't actually get nervous at events anymore. Like recently. Which is a bit surreal. At the beginning I definitely used to get really anxious before doing sets, and I'd be like sweating and just overall really worried. But alcohol helps. So that was like the one thing that helped a lot ease my nerves before doing sets, or just feeling less stressed in general. But I'm glad it's not something I have to rely on to just be excited and not worry as much anymore.
I think I remember during my first broadcast, my heart used to beat so loud that I could hear it like in my ears. And I got distracted while talking because my heart was beating so loud and the blood was like rushing inside my ears, and I was super nervous. So I completely relate to like being nervous at the start, but now I think I've kind of reached a similar zen where it's kind of like, you know, you're like inside the storm. You're like at the eye of the storm. Like you yourself are completely calm, unbothered. And all the action is like going on around you, kinda, in a way.
It especially sucks when I was starting out being really nervous because on a controller, obviously, you have to be quite precise with pressing buttons in rhythm, or there's something on a controller called a tempo slider, which, as you can imagine, it's a slider, and you use it to speed up or slow down songs. So if one song is either slightly too fast or too slow compared to the song you're playing, obviously you speed it up or slow it down, so you can mix in seamlessly. But I've had previous events where my hands were shaking so hard. I had to like steady myself adjusting the tempo slider because it was just so hard to get it precisely in time. So yeah, I'm quite glad that I don't have that anywhere near as much anymore, because it made it even more difficult. So you get more nervous, and it's just like a horrible loop of anxiousness.
So you're telling me that every DJ controller comes with its own Nightcore button?
Yes.
Or you can speed
Nightcore
up
slider.
The Nightcore slider is real. Honestly, that almost makes me want to try DJing one day.
You absolutely should. You can Nightcore. Every song is Nightcoreable. It's just a matter of will.
I kinda love that. I kinda love that. The Nightcore slider. The Frank Sinatra Nightcore that the world always needed. I'll make it happen. I promise
someone's
it.
got to.
No, I see. And so recently I saw you traveled to Japan, right?
Yes.
MT, hello. Getting the Nightcore sliders at the pub.
And then getting thrown out of the pub.
And I saw you had the opportunity even to play in Japan. How was that like?
It was surreal. Because I mean, it was just so good that it's hard to like exactly put into words like what the experience was like, because it wasn't I wasn't officially booked for anything, because I basically went really short notice. I went like with a month's notice, It was very spur of the moment. So all the events and stuff, they'd already been arranged, so I couldn't get booked for anything, which is fine. But because I was there, people were like, "Oh, why don't you just mix?" And I have a USB attached to my phone, so I always have my music library with me.
Oh, that's so cool.
So yeah, there were a couple of clubs where I was asked to just do a random set, and everyone they were so friendly and nice, and they all loved the music, and people were just so amazed, like, "Oh wow, there's a DJ from the UK here." It was so sweet. Bless. But yeah, amazing experience, honestly. I had the first night I arrived, I got asked to just play some tunes, and I was doing it in front of like one of my all-time DJ hero inspirations and absolute favorite producers.
Whoa.
So I was luckily so drunk that I wasn't nervous.
And who was that, if I may ask?
That was DJ Shimamura, who's like just
Ah.
it's like the god of hardcore essentially in Japan. He founded the first hardcore label there over 20 years ago now, and
That's
is
so cool.
quite famous internationally. It's like one of the hardcore producers. So
And Cholera Epidemic says JP crowds are the most hype and wholesome I've ever experienced.
absolutely agree with that.
So it's like the stereotype true, because I heard, for example, at the Miko Expo, the Japanese crowds aren't cheering very loud. They're like relatively quiet. Would you say that that was true for like the happy hardcore scene too?
I think because it's like a really different vibe. So first of all, with like clubbing and like raves, so because it's a how do I put it, a heavy drinking culture and essentially nightlife, like partying, people are a lot more how do I put it, like free.
Yeah, like more laid back and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't say laid back because like the energy is like super high, but there's a lot less constraint on how people feel that they should be acting. They're just having fun. So those crowds are just full of passion and energy, and people like shouting and dancing. I think like the more standard otaku events, there's like a certain image and way that the crowds or the people feel that they should be behaving at those kind of events. Like, you know, you got chants and people generally being respectful. There's a lot less alcohol, which also I think makes a big difference. But I think overall the vibe's just a completely different thing, really.
But what's your alcohol of choice?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I love beer, but beer doesn't love me. Otherwise, I love gin. So I'd say gin. But that's another thing, because when I was in Japan, I had loads of whiskey highballs and shochu, and I love those. And if I could drink them in the UK, I would. But they're not available without spending a lot of money. So just beer and gin for the most part.
Honestly, I would love to go party like that sometime. I've never really been to a rave before. I feel like the only dance move that I could do would be like the windmill. When I get like very hyped and very drunk, I think I could just do the windmill. I don't know many like club dance moves, but that sounds very fun.
If it helps reassure you, I don't know any club dance moves either. I mostly just like bob around with the music.
Yeah, that's always like an easy bet. I know also I can dance like a white dad at like a grill party.
That's all you need. I think you'll be fine.
All you need. Yeah. Honestly, I hope that would be kinda enough to help me by. Yeah, the head bob gang. Yeah, exactly. So how, like, when you start making a DJ set, how does that work? Do you find like, I guess 10 to 12 songs that are all in the same key? Or how do you start, like how do you decide what songs go in a set? How does your process work like?
So it generally varies on like the event I'm doing, but I go about it different ways. So if it's like a really big, so first of all, event sets are generally around 45 minutes, which is around 20 plus songs, depending on like how much I play or how quickly I mix. It's generally around that. If it's an event that I'm thinking about with loads of time in advance, usually what I do is at work, when I listen to Spotify or listen to like my playlists, I'll just have this set in the back of my mind, and when a song comes up that I think, oh, this would be really good, I just add it to a different playlist. So over time, even maybe not for a specific event, but if I just think, oh, this song would be great for an event in this kind of vibe or this kind of set, I'll put it in playlists. So I have made playlists in advance, and I can, excuse me, when I go back to them, I might rearrange them. I'll listen through it, and just see how it feels, like whether something called like energy level, like whether it feels like it flows well or not, or whether do I think like people would have fun with it. And then I will take that into my main DJ software, which is Recordbox, and actually like try out mixing it, try out different transitions and see if it works. That's generally for sets that I have a lot of time in advance, time and motivation to plan. Otherwise, I will just dump like a bunch of songs I like in a folder and just wing it. So I have only those two modes. I either like meticulously plan the entire thing start to finish, or just, you know, like, we'll let fate decide.
How would you say are the percentages? Are you winging it most of the time, or are you planning most of the time?
So, up until very recently, all the events that I did, I was given like a lot of notice in advance, and I wanted to do things that were quite special for them. So those ones I all planned quite meticulously in advance. Very recently, I've been asked to do events with very, very little notice. Like, I think, yeah, we're in April now. Last month, I got asked to do a set the day before. They're like, oh, someone dropped out. Can you please fill in for us? The event's tomorrow. Like, okay, well, obviously I can't really plan anything then, but I just put a bunch of songs that I thought, it wasn't just like super random. So I thought, oh, I'll start off a bit slower. So I added a bunch of songs that were about 150 BPM. And I thought, okay, well, I'll build it up a bit. Added a few 160, some like bassy stuff around that tempo, and then some hardcore at 170. And I just shoved it all in a playlist and thought I'd wing that. But that's like the least amount of planning I'll do. It's like, okay, well, some of that vibe, and then I'll just see how I feel when I'm behind the decks to decide what to actually put together.
So BPM is basically just the speed of the song, right?
Yes. So yeah, beats per minute, sorry. So
No, it's all good.
I usually play hardcore. So the intro song that was playing, that was 175 beats per minute. So that's slow for some people and very, very fast for some others. My favorite BPM is actually 175. So that's like my ultimate comfort zone and speed.
I honestly really like the song that you made, because I felt
Thank
like,
you.
whoa, this is energizing me so much. Like the bass is like jumping from ear to ear too. Was quite pleasant to listen to with headphones. And I just kind of thought, whoa, I could like draw with this. I could like hyper focus with this for like 10 hours and get all my stuff done.
Thank you. That's what I love about this, like this genre. It just fills you with energy. It just really gets you going. I that's what I love about dance music. I feel like music that just makes you want to move is just the best feeling ever.
Yeah, I agree. Like for me, I guess for me there's like two moods, I guess. For me it's either that, like I listen to a lot of like, I guess hardcore, anime core. Is that a genre? I know lots of Zoomers call it that, so I've kind of
Really,
adopted
I've
that.
never heard anime core before.
I've heard that. I like to listen to like drum and bass, breakcore they call it, but it's like the new style breakcore. And like for me, I can focus so well when I listen to that kind of music. And then the other mode is just like ambient. Like I need some calm ambient, and that's where I just kind of go into my cave under the waterfall and meditate, you know. Suddenly I get the post music clarity.
When I'm in the office, I listen to hardcore most of the time. So I think 90% of the time I'm listening to hardcore. Also, just to say, it's the genre, it's in the UK, we just call it hardcore. But internationally, it's sort of more known as UK hardcore. Because hardcore, to most people, like in Europe and internationally, is called mainstream hardcore, which is quite different and a lot harder. That's like the kind of stuff they love in the Netherlands. Yes, so that's what I listen to mostly, UK hardcore. But for me, when I want to listen to like more relaxing stuff, I listen to trance. I really love trance.
Oh yeah.
But that's still quite fast for a lot of people. That's still 140 beats per minute BPM. I quite like hard trance, like really bassy stuff. And then also like UK garage. That can be a bit more. That's like my chill music, which is still like, it's still very dancey music. The people play in clubs and stuff, but that's what I listen to when I want to relax. I listen to garage or maybe some like speed house and stuff like that.
Well, that's so interesting how we have like totally different speeds, totally different modes. But I like trance as well. Also, Gary, thank you. Hi, Gary. So like for me, I know that I found a very good playlist. It's like a trance brain massage playlist, and it's very interesting because they're like some I don't even know how to describe these sounds. They sound like marbles being dropped, but it feels like they're dropped directly on your brain. Like it's very hard to describe. It's very interesting music. I've never heard of something like that before.
I'm so intrigued.
Oh, I can try to find it. Oh, it has a very confusing title. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, yeah, but in the meantime, what is your favorite part about DJing?
God, it's so hard. So, I think, like, I've always loved sharing the music that I love with other people, and obviously, it's always the best feeling when someone likes what you share with them, and I feel like DJing is like just the ultimate form of that. So there are so many music artists that I love. A lot of music that some people might not have heard of before, or some music that is quite well known. It doesn't really matter. It's just being able to share like something that's so important to me with other people. It's not just sharing, you're essentially playing and showcasing like the best of what certain music has to offer in an environment where everyone just really, really wants to have fun.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, a club. Not all events are sort of equal like that. But I find especially that is one thing that makes the Japanese scene really special, or I'd say more special than at least obviously I'm most familiar with the UK scene, but is that in Japan people really, really, really respect and love the music. In the UK, a lot of people like going out to clubs just because they want to get really drunk.
Yeah, that's true.
So they might not respect or appreciate the music as much, but over there's like a really big sense of respect for everyone that produces and all the effort that goes into making music. So I think it's such a nice atmosphere, as well as them obviously being really passionate. So there's a lot of events in the UK where people have really loved the music, but it's especially good because I play a lot of Japanese-made hardcore, especially because I want it to get more popular internationally. I feel like it deserves a lot of respect, and a lot of people around here where I'm local, they don't necessarily. I know they would like it and they like a lot of dance music. Dance music is a big part of UK culture, but they're just not familiar with it because they don't really look outside of their comfort zone for music. So I'm happy that I can also introduce those people to music that they should like, but just aren't really aware of.
Yeah.
So half like introducing people to new music that I love, but then also just being able to watch people essentially enjoy the one thing that I'm most passionate about in life is definitely like the part of DJing that I love the most.
I think that's like the thing. When you go out somewhere to party, it is most likely that you'll also discover music that you've never listened to, like in any other mindset. And I think there's something so wonderful about the energy. And I think the only thing that I kind of like about like the Western, I guess, clubbing scene with like a lot of dance music is those images that they have on the screen that are very, very funny. With like, it's like the visualizer, I think.
Oh yeah, like VJing or essentially a visual jockey. It's like, yeah, all the like design work or like looping visuals and stuff with music.
Yeah, but like there are people who take it very seriously, but I also saw people who play like a little clip art of a little construction man doing like little construction man things. Like
I think I saw that. I think I know the one you're talking about.
I found that very, very funny, I have to say. I quite like that. Also, I found the song that I was thinking about.
Oh, let's see.
Let's see. That's Mandragora Sem Chow, it's called. Actually, let me quickly get rid of that.
Oh, this is interesting. I just skimmed through it. It's like it seems like it's a psytrance song, but there's like a lot of other stuff in there. It's really interesting.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting.
I love a bit of psytrance.
Let me just see if I can find the other version, because that's not the one I've been looking for. Okay, it doesn't really matter, does it? It doesn't really matter. But that's
okay.
that's the song that I meant. And I think honestly, I really like this kind of like brain massage kind of vibe to it. I quite enjoyed that. But what is for you like the most difficult part of DJing?
I hate to say it like this, but it's not getting too drunk before I mix. It's genuinely the hardest part, because I could say, like, obviously some transitions can be quite difficult and some songs don't work too well together, but that's generally actually mixing, like, you get into a flow of doing it. So the actual mixing itself, now that I have quite like some experience, isn't too I don't know, challenging.
Yeah.
But usually when I'm at an event, it means that I'm with my friends and I'm drinking, and I can sometimes let that sort of get away from me without realizing, oh wait, I'm on in an hour and I've got to actually play a set, and I'll drink too much. And that's when my mixing gets really bad. If I get, there's like a state that people refer to as like God mode for DJing, obviously quite comically, because if you're sober, you don't have like this feeling of confidence that, and this like edge taken off you, that you can really go for it. And because a lot of DJing is just being confident enough to want to pull certain transitions off, or not feeling held back. But again, it's alcohol, so if you drink too much, it goes out the window. So it's really hard to sometimes hold back and restrain myself and not get too drunk because it's just awful. It's terrible. That's to me the hardest part of DJing is just self-restraint in regards to my own drinking.
I can totally understand that because you're doing a job obviously, but you're also having a good time.
Yeah.
And you need to kind of balance that. One part can't win out over the other. Also, let me ask Mod real quick to refund Buffos their points. I don't know if a Mod is here right now, but if they aren't, I'll just do that in a second. I'll just ask them. But it's okay. It's okay. Well, let me see. Are there ever like any days where DJing becomes very hard for you, where you're feeling like you're not really up to the task?
So the only time I've experienced stuff like that is when it comes to doing pre-recorded sets. So when performing live or being like in a club environment, it's always just really fun, and it's nice because obviously you can see people there enjoying music, and I've never had an issue with that apart from being too drunk, but that's like I said, that's something slightly different because it's still fun. But when it comes to like live stream events and essentially times where I'm bedroom DJing, there's been times where I've agreed to do events for people, and I work a full-time job. I have to balance everything between working and then being at home and then potentially having other stuff I have to work on, like my production or event organization. And sometimes I just don't have the energy to do something like then and there. And when it comes to recording a set, because you're just by yourself, you can't feel the energy of anyone enjoying it. It's just you sat by yourself in front of your computer with a controller. And it can be, if you make a mistake, then you want to re-record the whole thing. And it can get really frustrating sometimes, especially if you think, oh no, the deadline's tomorrow. I've been too busy. I've left it to the last possible day. And you just don't really want to do it. That has happened sometimes, especially during points where I was agreeing to do too much for people. Because I'd have a friend come up to me and say, oh, could you do a set for an event? You know, like a live stream event. And I wouldn't want to say no. I'd be like, oh yeah, sure, I've got time. And then I look at my calendar, I'm like, I shouldn't have agreed to do this, but I don't want to back out. So I did have a lot of moments like that, especially last year. But I've learned to say no. I've learned to put my foot down and not just agree to everything, which I think has helped mentally a lot. But yeah, there have been moments where it's just I've agreed to do too much, and then forcing myself to sit down and do 5 takes of a set because I wasn't happy with it. But yeah, that's less of a DJ problem and more of a me accepting to do too much work problem, really.
I think it's so difficult because it's always kind of fun to do things for people, and especially like help with these big events. And you don't want to be the one guy that like said no, because you never know if you'll get that opportunity again.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's hard to find a balance. But I think I'm getting there. As hard as like what was it? A friend told me something that was such good advice. Wait, I'm gonna find it. It was so good. I have it. I put it in my folder. I was like, that's such a good quote. I'm saving that one forever. There we go. I found it. The guilt of saying no can be painful, but it passes much quicker than the stress of having said yes too much.
Yeah.
I was told that, and I was like, I need to remember that forever because it's so true.
Honestly, I completely relate. And I think maybe it's also because we are still young, but I always kind of think, yeah, like I don't mind doing a bit more now. I could probably do a bit less later.
Yeah.
That's at least my kind of coping with that. I'm like, yeah, but a little bit more won't hurt. Surely I can get a little bit more in.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add. That's exactly it, really.
And you've been streaming on Twitch as well, right? How has that been?
Last year I wanted to do it really consistently, so I told myself I'd stream on Wednesdays, but then I realized that I was not going to bed until like 2 a.m. on those nights, and then
Oh,
it was just getting too much. So I was like, okay, well,
yeah.
I have so much other stuff going on, and streaming isn't a priority for me. It's just like a nice bonus that I like to do sometimes. So I figured I'll just do weekends when I can, which basically means sometimes I will, like on a Friday, if I don't have anything going on that weekend, I'll maybe stream. But I tell myself like, oh yeah, I'll just do like a couple of hours. I'll do some mixing, and then before I know it, I just it'll be 7 a.m. basically. So I like streaming because I like sometimes just being able to mix, and when you've got like a live chat, obviously it's not like a club, but you can see
Yeah.
people enjoying themselves, so you can get into it, and it can be really fun compared to just like sitting by yourself, not talking to anyone, recording a set for an event. So when it comes to bedroom DJing, I think streaming is definitely like the most fun.
And you can get rated by people like me.
Yes, it's so nice. It's so nice. Like we're just like mixing a song, and then suddenly it's like chat just erupts with loads of people. Yeah, I'm trying to not stay up until like 7 a.m. mixing as much, but it's fun. I think it's definitely the next best thing to like actually being able to be in a club. So
And Buffos says, this person is amazing. Well, thank you, Buffos.
oh, thank you.
I think it's so fun because I think I found you when I was looking for like live music to enjoy, I think while I draw, while I organize stream things. And for some reason, when I listened to your music, it was like this perfect sweet spot between this is hyping me up and this is calming me down. Like this puts me right into the focus zone. Like I can get all of my work done. Just like 12-hour work sesh. And it was so satisfying. And you were such a nice person, and your community was so nice as well.
Oh, bless. Thank you.
I was like, okay, I need to find an excuse next time to like raid Saria.
Like it took me completely by surprise. And
Yeah.
then, I think I raided you back.
Yeah, and that was so sweet. I really appreciated that. Yeah, it was the drawing god mode. Also Tiger. Hello Tiger, nice to meet you. Yeah, it was the kind of thing where like I guess most VTubers only rate other VTubers, and I get why. Because you think, oh, your viewers like the other VTubers, you know, like most likely more because that's what they're used to. But I always kind of try to kind of nudge my community to all sorts of people and show them people who maybe aren't in the VTubing sphere, because I think there's so many talented creatives and there's so many people that my viewers should hear of that I want to support. And you're one of them. You're very nice, and I want to see you succeed. Yeah, so what drives you to DJ more? Do you have any like big aspirations? Are there big things coming, Saria? Would you say that big things are coming?
Oh, there's so many big things coming. I feel like, just so I don't think some people know, but it's a bit of a meme in the DJ community because everyone's always saying that there's big things coming. But I have very big things coming. So the next thing or next step, big things. The next stage for me is like in my DJ, I wouldn't say career, but I don't know, life, I suppose, is that I have been getting very involved in actually organizing my own events. So not just getting bookings and mixing music for people, but actually trying to give back to the scene and organize events, not just locally where I am, but basically there's been two what do you say, like groups, event series. So the first one that actually takes place in Manchester. So my lovely friend Air Break in the chat, and then my other good DJ friend D Look D. The three of us host an event series in Manchester called Reprobeats, where we basically try to I wouldn't say bring more awareness to certain acts in the hard dance scene that might not necessarily be super big, but we feel like really deserve recognition, as well as promoting hardcore music and hard dance in general. So that was the first of like the event organization say life experience that I had, and that was just like the best thing. It's so nice. It's obviously nice DJing and having fun mixing music, but it's just something so rewarding and satisfying about actually hosting your own events.
Yeah.
Being the person bringing all these people together, and then also seeing other DJs and artists like really shine, have fun themselves, and also usually they're also producers and they're actually playing their own stuff and seeing people have fun. It's just the best experience ever. It's probably the most rewarding feeling I've ever had in my life, being able to do that. So that was the first one, and then in summer this June this is more of a solo project, but I am also organizing an event called Side Effects, and I am booking DJs from Japan. So a couple of my all-time favorite DJs and producers will be coming over from Japan and playing in the UK. So they are absolutely insane producers, and I feel like despite how big of a dance music scene there is in the UK, no one books international artists. Like maybe a couple people might get booked from Europe, but there's not a big drive. And even though in Europe we have a lot of events that book Japanese artists to play hardcore, they're all like anime conventions, and they're not like actual serious parties, and it really frustrated me. So me and my event partner Orin, we have been working together on trying to bring some of that hardcore spirit from Japan to Europe. And well, obviously I live in the UK, so that's a lot easier, but also because there's such a scene for hardcore in the UK, hence the name UK Hardcore, because it's essentially the birthplace of the genre.
Yeah.
We're both really happy to be able to create an event together that really it's like a love letter to underground hardcore, really. Like I put so much of myself into this event, and I hope it'll be a success. It's called Side Effects, and I am bringing over DJ Shimura, who was the artist I mentioned earlier, who's essentially the founding father of UK hardcore in Japan. And then DJ Noriken, who is a member of Hardcore Tanashi. Some people here might know Hardcore Tanashi. They are one of the biggest like hard dance otaku type labels in the world.
Oh, that's so
and
cool.
Noriken's like my favorite. So they're both coming over to the UK, and I'm hoping that people will have an amazing time. Those of them who might not necessarily know the artist too much might get interested in Japanese hardcore more, and that's all I want, is just people to respect those artists more. So yes, that's like the biggest thing for me now, and the thing I've been most thankful for is actually DJing has led me into hosting events and not just playing at them, which is it's the best. I could go on about it forever, honestly.
I think like it's very nice that you're becoming the change you want to see in the world. I think it's really nice that you're taking initiative to kind of show a light on artists that you want to support too. And I really respect that.
I feel like I just can't help myself. Honestly. I feel very fortunate as well that I actually have been given such an opportunity that I can start. Because like if it was just me by myself, I wouldn't be able to do so much. But luckily I've been able to meet so many people, and I've had loads of opportunities, even just like playing events and getting like more well known, that has introduced me So there's loads of my friends and loads of event organizers that I've been able to just work with other people. So like reprobate side effects. If it weren't for the people that I was working with, I couldn't have done it by myself. So
Yeah.
I feel very fortunate that I've been given opportunities. At the same time, I know that other people maybe could have done if they'd had, you know, the drive or motivation. But also a lot of people might just not have the time. I'm quite fortunate because I do a lot of my organization work at my office job. So I often have a lot of free time when I'm sat in the office, and I'll do a lot of my event organization, like admin stuff then, which makes things a lot easier for me.
And Sky says, honestly, all artists, music or not, deserve so much respect for the time and the skill that it takes. So congrats on getting where you are.
Thank you so much. That's really sweet. It still feels surreal, honestly.
I feel like I've kind of felt that myself where, you know, you kind of start out as a content creator and you admire like the big guys, right? You have like a big idol. And then you work really hard and you improve and stuff. And then maybe your idol will like notice you and even like, you know, compliment your work. But you yourself, you feel like you haven't changed at all. So for you, it's still like so amazing. And it can be super hard to kind of come to realize that now, you know, you have people who want to be like you, you know? But for you, you still feel the same. Like you're still a little guy.
I know. That is it. Especially now that I've been getting into producing, which I haven't been doing for that long. And I still mostly don't really know what I'm doing. But then everyone seems to say that. So it goes to show everyone feels like that little guy who hasn't done anything but somehow is just in the scene, and yeah, you put it a lot better than I did.
But it's quite a different skill set to like organize these sort of things. It's quite a different skill set. And thank you for the headset. Thank you.
It's mostly just like basic organization and being able to sort of adapt to like under pressure, like if things go wrong, being able to be there to sort them out. But a lot of people in the club or event scene, they're just really bad, like poorly organized. So there's like a joke with me and all my friends that I love spreadsheets. Like to be fair, it's not really, to me it's not a joke because I do really love spreadsheets. But it's obviously, aside from it being funny, that I have a spreadsheet for almost everything. A lot of it is just keeping track of several things that you've got going on, financially, organization, links, contact details, numbers, just staying on top of it. But it's just, to me, it's easier. If you just have it all on a spreadsheet, then you've got like a really easy, you know, list of information to refer back to, and then it's not too hard to organize stuff.
Yeah.
But I think some people just don't, so they're always like all over the place. They don't really know what they're doing, and then obviously it's a lot harder to organize an event if you don't even remember what you're meant to be doing. So everyone should make spreadsheets. That's how I feel.
I kind of
Microsoft Excel.
It's the kind of thing where like people joke about it, but it's actually such a help. It's actually so super helpful.
It really is.
It really does make a difference. I hate to say it. It really does make a difference.
Big up the spreadsheets. That's how I feel.
So, do you have any advice for young aspiring DJs?
So I do. The thing is, it can be quite difficult because I've managed to get quite far in DJing and stuff because I went to loads and loads and loads of events last year. So the biggest thing I can give advice-wise for DJing, like in terms of actually getting bigger and getting bookings and stuff like that, is to connect with people. And I know that's easier said than done, but the biggest way you do that is just by actually going to events. So
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people complaining like, "Oh, I never get bookings. No one knows me." But then they never leave their house, which is, I get that it's a lot easier to not leave your house, and I was like that before. But if you don't go out and people don't see you at events, or don't talk to anyone, then they don't know who you are, and obviously it's
Yeah.
hard to get anywhere from that. So the biggest thing I can say as a DJ is just go to loads and loads of events. Because even thinking this whole thing and how this all happened, I mentioned Reprobeats earlier, which is one of the events that I host with a couple of those friends. So I actually got into the scene. I met D at an event that I went to last year in Finland in March.
Oh wow.
And we just started talking, and we became friends because obviously we're into the same music. I always remember this, it's so funny. We'd been in the front for about 2 hours, and he noticed that I'd stayed there the entire time.
Oh wow.
So he turned to me, he's like, "Oh, so whereabouts in Finland are you from?" With a really a thick UK accent. And obviously I'm like, "No, I'm also from England." And you think, what are the chances of you finding someone else from the UK at some random club in Finland? And then obviously we started talking. We became friends. He introduced me to a bunch of the people, and from then I've just met more and more people, gone to more and more events. But if I hadn't gone to that one event, I don't know if I'd be here now. I don't know if I would have met so many of the people that I have done. I might have done eventually, but I have no idea. You just have to go to the events where everyone loves the music the most. In terms of pure DJing skill, it's just experience, just mix, and also listen to music. So actually, a big part of DJing that people don't really talk about isn't just it's not just being able to do decent transitions, but it's just track selection, knowing what will fit, knowing how to play lots of things at a high energy and then bring it down a bit, and then build it back up and get hype going. So just listening to lots of different music and organizing a library. The biggest part of DJing is admin. It all just comes back down to organization.
That's what no one wants to do.
Yeah, exactly. No one wants to sort through all these different files and your music. But a big part of it is just not just having a really wide selection of tracks, because some people will say, okay, well, I have a huge library. It's like, well, how much of that library do you actually know? How many of those songs have you actually listened to and know? Therefore you think, oh, okay, well, this will be X track will be perfect after Y because they fit. Or key isn't huge for my genre, so it's not something I actually think about at all. For something like trance that's very melodic, you do have to think about key. But stuff like hardcore, other house music, you don't really have to think about key that much. It's mostly just knowing about what will fit. So if you want to be a DJ, the biggest things I would say is just try and think about your music library a little more. Don't neglect it. Let it sit with a thick layer of dust. And just actually go to events if you. Some people are more than happy just mixing casually for fun or streaming, and that's fine. Not everyone's as fortunate as I am to live in a country with such a strong dance scene and community, and I get it can be difficult. In that case, just listen to loads of music and build your library.
Yeah. Also, Slavic Soul, hello. I think it's kind of fun because depending on where you're from, you can also put regional influences into your music. Brazil has, for example, a great music music scene. And Brazil has so many fun local instruments and music impulses, I want to say. You have the bossa nova and traditional music styles. You can, if you have songs that you really like, find a way to somewhat incorporate them, the stuff that you do. Hi,
Oh, yeah,
Puppy Cat.
absolutely.
We're podcasting today. We're podcasting with DJ Saria.
Hello. It doesn't necessarily have to be dance music either. You can DJ anything. You could be a bossa nova DJ. You can You can DJ house. There's a lot of house DJs. Dubstep. There's all sorts of genres. It doesn't necessarily just have to be like the typical things that you would consider like tech. I think techno and house are probably the biggest or most popular, but you could DJ anything. Some people are like only DJing like J-pop and anime songs, and you can DJ that if you want to.
Oh, Mega Prime is asking if you have song recommendations. You can send them
Oh,
to me.
I have too many song recommendations.
You can send, if you have any, you can send them to me on Discord and I'll punch them in the chat. But our first recommendation that we definitely will have, if I can find it. Where did I park it? Where did I parked it here. So this will be very loud. I apologize already. Also, Poppycat asks if DJ work is hard work. I'll let you answer that question. But in the meantime,
library management is hard work.
she'll shill your stuff, Saria. But don't worry, I'm already on it. So this will be very loud. I'm very sorry. Let me maybe make it.
It makes me feel bad. Dance music should always be loud. This is
I
my
know.
latest tune that I've been working with Suno, who's in the chat. Big up Suno.
Yeah.
It is a very, very basic UK hardcore track that we've both worked on for quite a while.
And you can find it on Spotify, I think.
Yes, it is on. I'll drop a link to the Spotify.
Yeah, big love to Suno and to Saria for this track. Yeah, if you give me
can I put a link in chat, or is it gonna?
you can't. No, you have to send it to me on Discord, unfortunately.
Okay, yeah. So if you send,
we have
so
all the
is like...
baby filters up.
Yeah.
So let's see here.
So that's got Spotify, Apple Music, just all the streaming platforms. It's also on Bandcamp and SoundCloud. So
Bandcamp might be loved. Bandcamp might be loved. I know some people don't like Bandcamp, but I think it's a very kind of like easy to understand way to kind of consume music, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it's a great platform. Also, big ups to Solutions because he did the mastering for the track. He did an amazing job.
Oh, that's so cool. So, like, what goes into a song? I guess that's the you assemble. Oh no, wait, that's your original song. That's different from DJing. So, how was the process on this one?
If I'm being honest, I don't remember how I made it. both Suno and I were kind of in disbelief.
Divine intervention.
We've been working on it for a really long time. I think it was a total of 3 months. Not like obviously there were breaks in between that.
Yeah.
Like, during that, I also went to Japan. But it's a lot of like, oh, do you think this would work for this section, or like, should we put this in the drop? And then we try it, and then it just sounds awful. We're like, nope, delete it. Then we just lots of trial and error, like making different sounds and adding them. I think originally we built the drums, and then I wrote a lead. We put the lead in, and then it was a lot of lots of trial and error, lots of like trying and experimenting with different things. And somehow we made this song, and I'm actually really happy with it. I'm still in disbelief that we were able to like put something like this together. I've only been producing for about 4 months.
Oh, that's so
I made
impressive.
a couple of other songs. Thank you. I made a couple of other songs, but every single time I look at my DAW, the audio program, Ableton, I don't really know what I'm doing. I mean, I can show like a project, so it's probably easy to show visually than like trying to explain like this, like drums and a lead and a bass and stuff like that. But when it comes to actually putting stuff together, I don't really have a set like a workflow, if that makes sense.
I think that makes sense. I'm still following somewhat.
Like there was a different, so I have a I don't know whether to call it a secret project, but there's something I'm working on, like music release wise, for like around August time, and I finished one of the songs from that, and if I'm trying to think, how did I make it? So I usually start with the drums, like the percussion, and then I think I wrote a lead, wrote some chords, and then a lot of trial and error. I found a vocal sample, and then found some other sound effects to like go along with that, and then I ended up with the song somehow.
That's also your song, your voice in the song, right?
Yeah, and this current song, yeah, that's my vocals. So sometimes when I'm on the train, like commuting to and from work, I'll just think of ideas. When writing lyrics, it's less about the words themselves, and I think like the rhythm of it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
dance music generally it's 4/4, so like 4 beats for like a phrase. So I try and think to myself, how can I make something that I think would fit in that rhythm pattern?
So like, give it to me, because that's. Oh wait, does that work? Give it to me? Yeah, that's 4 words.
Give it is like almost sounds like it's once. It's like 2 syllables. So
so you could give it to me straight. That would
Yeah.
work. Wow, I'm learning something new today. That's so interesting.
So I've always been really into creative writing. I used to do lots of like writing on like forums and stuff, just for fun, like a long time ago. And one thing is that writing lyrics, it's more like writing poetry than it is like being aware of writing a song, in the sense that poetry is all about rhythm, and writing lyrics, I feel like it's the same way in that I have tried to write lyrics for like actually singing, and I would like to do that, but it's just so embarrassing. Even when working on this song and hearing my own voice back, it was difficult, to put it lightly. And I played this song in a club, was it last Friday? Or the Friday before? And I have to say, listening to my own voice on big speakers for the first time, it was incredibly embarrassing. And I hope I can get over it soon, because I want to make more songs with my own voice, but it's so difficult.
Whenever I try writing a song, it always turns into this like embarrassing affair where I just rhyme very easy rhymes, like very, like house and mouse, like very dumb rhymes. I'm like, oh, I hate this. Why? Like, have I never spoken to anyone else before? Like, do I speak like this? Like, is this what I sound like? I'm like, wow, I hate this.
But the thing is, so I get into like slight anime territory here, but have you seen K-On?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Well, do you remember the song Fua Fua Time?
Oh, I think that rings a bell, yeah.
So the thing with that song is that it's got like the stupidest lyrics in the world.
Yeah,
like the lyrics are like fluffy, fluffy time, my heart doki doki, pounding, love, sweet nonsense. But like it doesn't matter. Like genuinely, I tried to think to myself about that stupid song like more than like
time.
stuff, because I'm always too harsh on myself. But then I think back, it's like that song is a banger.
Yeah.
And it's like one of the most beloved Anna songs of all time. And it has probably the stupidest lyrics that like any song. So it doesn't matter.
That's like a certified classic, I have to say.
Yeah, exactly. So I have to think to myself like, oh, it doesn't matter how stupid I feel the lyrics are. I'm always going to feel like my own lyrics are stupid. But
this is music practice and no goofing around.
People will, what's the word? Like experience it differently. They're not going to feel your embarrassment because it's yours. They're just going to enjoy what you're making.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Don't be so harsh on yourself. That's like something I have to try and tell myself more.
That's also true.
What? Wait. I wonder if I can like. I'm just gonna quickly look up the lyrics to it because like
All good. All
Yeah.
good.
they're just. Gotta be an English here. When I look at you, my heart always goes thump thump, doki doki. This shaking feeling is fluffy fluffy like a marshmallow.
Oh
It's like-
god. Chat is giving me that shaky feeling, like a marshmallow. That's so cute though. That's so cute.
It is. So whenever you think like, no, these lyrics they're just too stupid or too silly, it's like no. One of the best songs of all time says probably the stupidest lyrics of all time, and everyone loves it.
I think also this is how you generally come up with great lyrics, because like you have to travel down there. Like you have to think of something that people don't usually think of. Like what makes it unique.
Yeah.
Like this is how you find like something that's really catchy, even if it's stupid. That's at
true.
least what I think. Because sometimes like people have such funny names like online, or they have such funny like lyrics. I'm like, wow, I wish I thought of that. That's so genius. They're so smart for thinking of this. And I bet most people were thinking like, oh, this is embarrassing. Why did I write this? Yada yada.
Definitely. Even thinking back, I can't remember why I wrote those lyrics to synergize. It just randomly came to me at some point. I know I was on the train. That's all I can remember.
I quite like them.
Thank you.
I think they're great. So Mega Prime asked, what got you into DJing? Well, you said that was like mostly listening to lots of music and then wanting to try it, and then that event.
Someone just being like, "Yo, you should try DJing," and then I did. But I feel like the thing that really got me into DJ was just the fact that I got into the scene, or just being aware of people DJing through online events.
Yeah.
The specific one that I remember really got me interested. So I mentioned the group Untime that I'm it's like an online DJ collective. We all play anime remix music and J-core, essentially anime remixes that are hardcore for the most part. And they did an event last year for April Fools, and it was probably one of the funniest things I've experienced in my entire life. It was essentially like shitpost DJ sets, like for a whole night. It was brilliant. I just remember thinking like, this is so much fun. The music's great. It's funny. Everyone's having such a great time. I want to be more involved in this community.
Oh,
and then
that's so lovely.
Yeah, and then since then, being more into it. It was actually Suno. Big up Suno in the chat. Big up is also half a meme, but I can't stop saying it. Who actually first encouraged me to start DJing last year. So yeah, that was with mouse mixing and just having fun with it. And it's just so much. I love the music. I love listening to the music, so it's fun playing it for other people. Big love back, man.
Oh, that's so sweet. I think when you kind of find your place inside a community, no matter how small it is or how like tight-knit it is, it really feels special.
Absolutely.
It really feels
and I think
special.
There's just something about this scene, because even like when it comes to genres, hardcore, it is really niche. But because it's so niche, it's got such a lovely atmosphere. Everyone's just so genuine and passionate about the music. There's no money in it. Pretty much every single person I know has a full-time job. Even some of the biggest producers, there's no real competitiveness or like backstabbery or anything.
Oh, that's so great.
Because I know some other genres that they get really big. It can be some like aggression towards. Obviously, it's hard when money's involved, because it's just people sometimes can be a bit mean.
Yeah.
Trying to get ahead. But in such a niche scene where everyone just does it because they love it, I've never met such a wonderful group of people that are just so selfless and considerate towards others.
That's
It's
true.
it's incredible. They're just so lovely. I love this scene so much.
Also, Leonidas, thank you for the follow. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's like, I guess with VTubing, it's kind of the same thing. Like my general like approach to things most of the time is like, the smaller the circle, the better the players.
Yes.
Like, I'm the kind of person I engage with as few people as possible, because I kind of feel like the more people you let into your life, the more likely there's gonna be like a bad egg, and there's just gonna be drama, and it's gonna get difficult. So that's why kind of in general, I enjoy smaller, like more grassroots communities for like games
Yeah.
I play, or in general, just like things I like. Because you can also grow up like with the people.
Yeah, I think that especially is like such a
Yeah.
lovely experience.
This term, by the way, the smaller the circle, the better the player, it comes from Fortnite. Did you know that? Because of the battle royale, you know, there's like the circle
my
and
God.
stuff.
Oh, that's so funny.
That's where that comes from. I was like, whoa, this is like the best quote ever. And then someone said, did you know that was like from Fortnite? I was like, ew, okay.
That's
Insane
such
quote.
like a deep thing.
That's so
Fortnite.
insane. Also,
Oh.
Vodka asked if you have ever done any VR sets. That was the first question.
Yes, so I have actually. VR is really fun.
Well,
'cause
there's an ad starting soon. Maybe we should wait out the ad break real quick.
Yeah,
just so
please.
everyone can hear.
Yes.
Yeah, let's
I'm
wait
still
out
laughing
the ad
about
break.
the Fortnite quote anyway.
It's so good though. It's so accurate though. Like, it's the
Oh.
truest thing I've ever heard. I heard that a couple days ago. I was like, wow, where has this been all my life? This is amazing.
That's amazing. Actually, I'll quickly grab another beer and go to the toilet. Whilst
Yeah,
that
I'll
breaks
put
down.
us on the
It's
BRB
sensible.
real quick. I'll put us on the BRB. Alrighty. Okay. I think ads are on for like 20 more seconds, but then we're back. Beer core. Yeah. So true. All right, let's jump back. Very nice. So the second question was. Let me scroll up real quick.
I think there were 2. Oh, Bug Festival. Oh, yes.
And Black Garden Dev says, I agree 100% with what is being said. A good small circle is ideal. It's very difficult because it is very understandable that especially people that are learning want to get into your circle because they want to learn. So that's very understandable. And it's just kind of the nature of the game. But I think it is kind of like, it's kind of necessary to still kind of like govern over your circle in your time. And that's a very different, like a very difficult balancing act, I kind of feel like. Most of the time.
I think there were a couple questions. I just put them in the chat just so it's easier.
Yeah.
Apart.
Of course. Yeah, so the
Oh,
first,
yeah,
the VR, the VR DJ sets.
Yes, so I have done a few. The last event I did was at Tube, which is quite a big EU-based club. It's actually run by a friend of mine that I know IRL, which is quite funny because obviously the VR scene's very online and it's very digital. But yeah, Tube, it's really fun doing VR stuff. Because it's, I think, obviously if you're wearing a headset, it's still digital, but it feels like you're genuinely in a venue listening to music with like loads of other people. And you really feel like a vibe going, which is just the best. The only thing is whilst mixing, so I will do like a live set. So essentially I'll have OBS up, which records my like live mixing, which then gets streamed to the club, and there might be a VJ, there might not be. So everyone listens to the music with like a small amount of delay, so it's basically live.
Yeah.
But I'm doing it with a controller strapped to my head. So like a headset. So I heard this advice from someone which has changed my life, which is I wear a baseball cap and then I put the headset so it's resting on the brim of the cap.
Oh.
So it doesn't fall down. It's like firmly in place.
Yeah.
It's not on any weird angle, so my avatar in the world actually looks like I'm just, stood normally. And then I have my controllers on my hand. So I bought these like kind of like hand strap things recently. So essentially it's a silicone cover that covers the VR controller. And it has a strap. So you can strap it to your hand. So you don't have to hold on to it. So I have them strapped to my hands and I can still mix. It's obviously a bit difficult. So there's some things I can't really do easily with 2 VR controllers strapped to my hands. But it's essentially like live mixing, and both my hand movements and my like head bobbing are displayed to everyone in the club as well as my live mixing. So it's probably the most uncomfortable mixing experience. But in terms of like vibe, it's absolutely the next best thing to like actually being live in a club.
It certainly sounds like a vibe.
It's really fun. I don't think it's been announced yet, but I have an event this coming Friday. So EU time, I'm on at midnight, and it's gonna be like J-core, Japanese hardcore, and like hard dancey stuff. So that should be really fun. I think I'll be announcing it this coming week. So yes, I definitely do VR stuff.
So
VR stuff's great.
Big things are coming, you say?
Big things coming in VR, yes. And generally.
Coming. Yeah, also Airbreak said circles change over time too. That's also very true. Just connecting to the thing earlier.
Yeah. That's
also something to keep in mind. Sometimes vacancy opens up and then you can introduce like a new person to the circle, but it can be very difficult. You kind of need an eye to kind of discern who to introduce to a circle, because it can end catastrophic. Utterly catastrophic it can end.
it's that fine line between feeling like you're gatekeeping everyone, but also not letting absolutely everyone in.
Yeah, I guess for me, I'm always very cynical because I sometimes get like requests, especially a while ago, I got like a couple DMs where it was basically just like, tell me how to become successful, like right now.
What?
And I was like, I sent them like I was like, here's like a video on how to like start VTubing with like, you know, like a affordable model, like affordable overlays. They're like, no, I want to be successful. Tell me how to do it right now. And it was like, bro, I don't even know if I'm successful. Like, why are you talking to me like that? Yeah, it was so weird. And then I was like, it seems like I cannot help you, you know, like have a good day. And they were like, you're so useless. I'm gonna find someone else to help me. And I was like, good luck, you know, with that attitude, like, good luck.
That unfortunately reminds me of all those poor artists with like commission requests from people saying, hi, here's my OC, can you draw my art?
Oh.
And they're like, yeah, this is my rate. They're like, no, I want it for free. And they're like, well, obviously I'm not going to draw something for free. They're like, oh, I didn't like your art anyway.
Yeah,
What's wrong with you?
You're a shit artist. You're a shit artist anyway. I think what I recently had was like, I was having like a big collab event where we played Among Us. And someone messaged my collaborator privately, not even me, and I was hosting the event. Someone messaged my collaborator and was like, hey, tell Shell to invite me to Among Us. And this is like a person that no one knew. This is just a person that kind of spawned. They had like a Roblox profile picture and they were like, tell Shell to invite me to the Among Us collab. And I was like, what? Like, who? Like, I'm very sorry, but like, who are you? I've never seen you anywhere. Like, who are you? Why the tone? And it was like, and my collaborator like told me, was like, is this someone from your community? Like, who is this? And I was like, I've never seen this person before. And then we told them, we were like, hey, you know, we made like a Twitter post. Please just write a comment under the post. And then we'll we'll weed out, you know, people. We'll decide who to put in the Among Us collab. And they were like, no, I can't wait. I want you to put me in the Among Us collab like right now. Put me on the short list. It was like, what? Like, who are you? Like, Roblox Gamer 69. Like, why are you here? It was so weird. And they messaged my collaborator like 3 times. They were like, did you put me on the list yet? Am I on the Among Us list yet? When were we playing Among Us on Saturday? It was like, I'm so sorry. You're not invited. God. I'm so sorry. It was kind of scary almost how they reached out to a friend over messaging me. I guess I'm just very scary from the outside.
I think that the thing is they were probably like 12 or
yeah,
something.
I assume they were 12 because their grammar wasn't really good. So we thought it was like probably a child. Yeah, it's like, whatever, you're just a shit artist, but seriously, could you please draw me for free? Oh, it's like, it's so bad. What I sometimes have is like, it doesn't happen that often, but it happens sometimes where people message me and they're like, hey, can I make my design like your design? And I always think about that, and I always reply like, what do you want me to say? Like, what would you want to happen here? And then they just say,
actually, you could just have my OC design. Here you go.
Yeah, like, should I send you the model file? Like, would that make things easier for you?
Oh.
It's kinda gotten better because now for this model I'm working with like 2 overseas artists. So I know most people won't go through the trouble to like translating Japanese and like going through all that. So I'm safe. My bacon is safe for now. But like it happens quite often. It's kind of funny. Sometimes I get DMs where people say, oh, where are your overlays from? And then I send them the artist and I never get a reply back. And I'm like, wow. I'm so grateful I was able to be your stepping stool for your big journey. I'm so thankful.
There's like a similar thing that's almost like a meme in the DJ community, whereas people, it's like, oh, you got any sets? You got any sets going?
Oh.
It's just event organizers or just random people just get asked. Like, oh, you got any sets? People obviously wanting to play
Yeah.
at clubs and events. So this is like almost a meme that literally any situation, some guy will just turn up and just ask, oh, you got any sets? It doesn't matter like the context or anything.
People just haven't discovered my stuff yet. You wouldn't believe it, but I'll make it big someday.
Oh.
People asking for dubs. What's that? What are
Yeah.
dubs?
It's like tracks and stuff.
Ah, I see.
So it's like either asking like for your own stuff or just asking you to share.
Unreleased. I see.
Yeah, specifically, mostly unreleased tunes, but
I had something like that a very long time ago where it was like, I think that was like before my first debut, so I was still very new. And then someone messaged me and was like, hey, can I please see the new assets, pretty please? And I was like, the debut is like next week. Like, what? Just wait, like a normal person. Like, please, I wanna be someone special for you. And I was like, don't worry, I'll remember this interaction. And then they never talked to me again. I was like, okay, that worked. I'm very sorry. I can have a rather sharp tongue when people try me online. I do it very
you're
rarely.
generally lovely to everyone though, and then they just don't respond back to you anyway.
Yeah, like I'm always civil. Like I never take it too far, but I really kind of like to. Like, sometimes I ask, like, what did you think would happen? Or, like, what would you like to happen? Like, tell me about your world. Tell me more about it. I'm very interested to learn.
That's so funny.
Yeah, sometimes I also just block, like when...
Yeah, that's the best thing.
Yeah, it is like... Yeah, I get people who are just like, hey, beautiful, you're such a great VTuber. I love you. You're my Oshi. Who drew your banner? And I'm like, oh, thank you for the nice request. Oh, thank you for the nice message. My banner was drawn by this and this person. No reply. Gone from this earth. They never want to talk to their Oshi ever again, it seems. I'm just discarded, thrown in the trash. Thank you, Sky. It's very sweet. Thank you. Yeah, luckily nowadays people don't ghost me anymore. I guess because in my Discord it also says like friend requests, like not welcome. So people don't try anymore.
Oh, it's for the best, really. It's for the best.
It had to happen. Only one time in the beginning of my journey I had like the, hey, what are you doing right now? And I was like, oh, I'm doing VTuber things. They were like, oh, without me?
What?
I was like, what? What? And thank you so much for the sub. Thank you. It's so bizarre. I know there's a person going around who's like writing diss tracks about VTubers. He hasn't graced my DMs yet, but I'm very, very excited if it happens one day. He's like dropping in your DMs and then he's giving you the full-on diss track, telling you what a bad streamer you are.
No.
You can look it up. There are multiple posts about that. Like if you look far enough, you can find this kind of stuff. There are lots of people complaining about it. And thank you, V Gaming Junkie. It's very sweet. Yeah. Oh, but sorry, I got so sidetracked. I'm so sorry.
It happens. It's just having fun. And it's like, oh, whoops. We were having a conversation about something like on topic like 2 hours ago.
That's true. So Vodka asked, how do you balance your life outside as a DJ?
Oh, okay. So, it's with difficulty. So, actually, recently I took my driving test and I passed. Yay! But
very nice.
Trying to balance that with thank you. Trying to balance that with DJing and trying to make music and everything else. So basically, that took up a big part of my life for a really long time. So I would I work a full-time job, so I'd be at work, I'd go home, I'd eat, I'd immediately go out driving, like an hour or two, like practice every day, and then go home, and then I'd be really tired. I didn't really have much chance to do anything else. On weekends also, I was just like focusing on driving. I'm either at an event or trying to make music on weekends. So at events I get to see my friends, so it's not like I give up my social life entirely. Luckily my friends are in the scene, so I can sort of do both at the same time. But that is essentially it. Now that I don't have to practice driving every single day, I've suddenly have a lot more free time again, which is really nice.
Oh, that's gonna
But
be big for you. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you. It's great though, but I don't really leave my house very much. Everyone says, all my friends say that I'm terminally online, which I am.
Also, Crazy Kitty, hi, hello.
Is it hard getting a license in the UK? I don't know, because I can't answer that question because I don't actually know how easy it is getting a license anywhere else. I practiced a lot. I passed with only a single fault, which I'm quite proud of.
Oh, wow, Pog, very nice.
Thank you. But yeah, I couldn't tell you because I have no idea what how involved it is in any other country. But yeah, so my weekends usually, if I don't have an event, and thank you very much everyone. If I don't have an event, I'm basically at home. So like this weekend, for example, I basically spent the whole weekend at home in front of my PC trying to make music. I have an event at the end of the month on the 27th. Actually, cholera epidemic is going to be... I can't read. Cholera epidemic is going to be there with me. We're going to be playing together. We got a takeover as part of our DJ collective called Sound Advice, which is probably one of the best DJ collective names that's ever been invented because it's a pun and you can't beat puns.
Puns are always the best.
It's great. Which I'm looking forward to. It's going to be super fun. Anyone in the north of the UK who likes fun dance music, I'd recommend you check out Nanetti Disco. That's going to be on the 27th. So that, for example, I know I'm going to be in Leeds, which is where the event takes place. So I will actually be leaving my house to not go to work and go up to Leeds, hang out with some friends, play this event. I'm actually going to be doing a CD set, which is not very common anymore.
The Buckfast will be flowing.
Yes, Buckfast
That's
is
beer, most likely.
It's actually a lot worse than beer.
Oh no.
It's so essentially it's red wine with a shit ton of caffeine in it.
Oh my god, that sounds so bad. That sounds like something you'd use to tranquilize an animal or make it very anxious. One of the two.
It's like it's a beloved beverage here. But yes, so it's like a rave culture drink. But yes, I'm gonna play a CD set for this event. Just because I think it would be funny. I bought a bunch of CDs for my friends, and they're being delivered to me for this event, and I thought, oh, I could just do my set with them. So that's just some random thought I had that I thought would be fun. CDs, it's like it's so much more involved than using a USB.
Yeah.
And it's nowhere near as impressive as mixing with vinyl. So it's like the worst the worst of both worlds.
The worst of both worlds.
But I do still love CDs.
I love physical media and like
yeah,
music
exactly.
and games and everything.
It's easy to forget that everything's digital now. And all my music library is digital. I have like a few CDs, but it's just quite involved and really expensive, like buying and shipping stuff over that I'm trying not to as much.
I noticed
I bought
that
CDs in Japan and stuff. But...
sorry, I cut you off. Apologies.
No, go for it.
I noticed that my music library started to disappear. Like I have music saved in multiple different places among the internet. And a big chunk of my library is just disappearing, just kind of poofed from thin air. And it makes me sad because it never tells me what music disappeared. So I always like, okay, 800 songs are hidden. Which ones? Which ones are hidden? Like, tell me.
Or like when you have a playlist on YouTube and then suddenly it's like video unavailable.
Oh
Like
my
which
god,
one?
I hate that.
You don't
It's like,
know.
tell me at least. Oh, I
Yeah.
absolutely hate that.
See, I get it as well. I want more CDs, but at the same time, I know I'm not going to be. I'm planning on moving to Japan next year.
Oh,
So-
wow.
I know that I don't want too much stuff with me now because I'm gonna have to take it all over or have to find somewhere to store it or just it's just stuff to deal with. So I would rather. It's a good way to motivate myself to just not buy stuff that's unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm gonna have to take it with me. I need to like buy less. Even though if I were to give in to like my urges, I'd be buying so many CDs. So it's probably for the best that I don't anyway.
So, moving to Japan, that's truly really expensive.
Yes. So luckily I have a friend who said I can stay with her whilst I like get my find my bearings, which is huge because obviously hotels and stuff whilst just sorting stuff out can be really expensive.
Yeah.
I currently work for a Japanese company, so I'm just going to ask to transfer because that would be so much easier
Oh, that's so
than
cool.
something else. But we'll see. Fingers crossed. Big things coming.
Big things coming. I have some questions about that for you later, but I'll
Yeah, of
ask
course.
those off stream. I don't want to like dox you or anything.
That's fine.
I'll refrain from asking them now, and I'll ask them privately. But we all wish you best of luck. We all wish you
Thank
best of
you.
luck. And RNA asked, what was your biggest expense for getting started? And the Gaming Junkie says, best of luck to you, DJ.
Thank you so much, everyone. When it comes to DJing, my biggest expense. So, I don't think I had a single biggest expense because I bought it's essentially a budget controller, which I still have. I can't justify buying one that's more expensive because I know I'm gonna move. But I bought an FLX4, which essentially can do everything that the big club CDJs can do, but it only has 2 audio channels, so you can only have 2 songs on at a time, which is fine anyway. And it's made out of plastic, but it's really solid. It feels amazing. All the buttons are really responsive and solid. And it was, I think, £280, like just over 300 euros or.
That's still a
However much-
sizable chunk of money.
It is, but when you consider most other controllers are in the thousands.
Yeah, yeah.
Audio equipment is just super expensive. It wasn't too bad. And if I were to compare that to, let's say, all the money I've spent, like either going to events or flying around Europe, because a lot of the time it's my friends putting on events and I don't want to. I'm happy to like front that cost myself. So overall, I can't say that there was just like one thing that I spent a lot of money on. My the equipment actually came with I wouldn't say it's a license, but the software that I
Yeah.
use. So I use Rekordbox, and
Sometimes they do that.
buying the
right, with
controller.
bundlers.
Yeah, so when I
Yeah.
plug in the controller, it recognizes it, so I can just use like all the features on it.
Oh, that's so
um,
nice.
So there wasn't anything in that regard. I mean, buying music could get quite expensive. That is one thing, is that like trying to maintain a library and like buying new music when it comes out, it can creep up on you more than you realize.
And you need high
um,
quality files, right? You can't just, you know.
Yeah, so funnily enough, most old like club kit can't play stuff like FLAC files. Some WAV files, they're mostly okay, but sometimes if the text is a bit funny, especially with Japanese characters in the title, sometimes they don't really like it.
Oh.
So I've mostly converted my entire library to MP3 because most people they can't tell the difference anyway.
Yeah.
Everything runs MP3. It's like a bit of an elitism thing that I only play WAV files, but no one knows, no one cares. You might as well play the file that the kit's actually gonna read.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
that makes sense.
Yeah. And with something there's like a audio player / editing software called Audacity, and you can mass convert
Oh.
files. So I basically, at some point, because I used, when I was learning how to DJ and I got one of my first gigs, I used to have everything in FLAC. And I came to this club and I plugged my USB in, and there was just every single track was like big red letters, format not recognized. It's like, no, every single file. I couldn't. My friend was there. I was like, Max, can I please borrow your USB? Because I knew them, and I knew the library, and they play some J. Cole. Obviously, it wasn't all the songs I wanted to play,
Yeah.
but at least I could play something. And after that, I
You
was like,
could make it
I'm
work.
never dealing with this again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna convert my entire library.
Oh my, that sounds so
yeah.
stressful. Also, Haku, hello. Hi, Haku.
So I guess in specifics, the controller was probably the biggest standalone expense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all like a part of it. And that's another thing. If you want to get into DJing, but obviously buying a controller is quite expensive, you can just mix with your mouse. So there's like loads of guides online on YouTube. You can sort of get to grips with understanding how the kit works, and some places you can like hire out like studios that might have DJ equipment.
Oh wow.
So you can like play around with different kit or CDJs, and actually get a feel of using the equipment before you're like, okay, I'm actually gonna spend a lot of money on a piece of equipment that I don't even know if I'm gonna like. So there's a lot of things that you can do before you decide that you're gonna spend that. But mouse, I mean, to me, there's a lot of people that tell me like, oh, I don't like mouse mixing, I can only mix on a controller. But if you like the music and you like the idea of it, and you try mouse mixing and you enjoy it, then you're probably gonna like DJing on a controller as well. So I think that thinking of it like that is like
it's a good entry point. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I completely understand what you mean. It's kind of like with art too, right? Where people are like, oh, I need the most expensive tablet and I need all the brushes and I need like all the expensive things. But then like in reality, even if you start with like the most basic setup, you can at least kind of see if you like it. Like, of course, there's like a benefit to more professional equipment. But if you can't afford it, you should still do it the slightly shittier way compared to not doing it at all, you know?
That, and if you're beginning, you won't be able to appreciate the difference between the cheap one and the expensive one anyway.
Yeah.
So you might as well just get the cheap one and start, and then get some experience.
I think that's a good way to look at it. That makes sense to me. And I have one more question for you.
Yes.
And that is, do your friends and family know of your passion and support your passion for DJing?
Yeah, I feel really fortunate. So my parents and my family, they might not necessarily really like a lot of the music that I listen to. I think it's a bit too fast in general for them. But they all think it's really cool that I play in clubs and that I make music and stuff like that. And I think it's really sweet. They're all really supportive. My parents, it was really sweet. They were saying that like, oh, you're gonna have a song on streaming, we're gonna play it all the time, we're gonna ask Alexa to play it all the time.
Oh,
Like,
that's so sweet.
It's really sweet. So obviously they don't get it, but they're very excited for me, which, I mean, you couldn't ask for more than that, really. I feel like some of my extended family, they don't understand it at all, but they know that I travel quite a lot for it, and they know that I'm quite busy with it, and they seem to respect that, which is really cool. I had a bit of a surreal moment because it was my cousin's wedding last week on Sunday, and I managed to make friends with people that I didn't know. I think they were friends of my cousin, which is bizarre, isn't it? Making friends at a wedding.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre finding like meeting other people that
And
have
the
like
same
similar
thing,
interests to
yeah.
you. I overheard some girl say that she'd lived in Japan for 4 years. I was
Oh,
like,
that's so
okay.
cool.
Yeah, I tested her Japanese and she was fluent, and we were just chatting in Japanese, and then we
Oh, that's
just
so
got in,
cool.
like, became friends, which is just like surreal. But I remember her saying like, "Oh, I never expected to meet someone so cool here." It's like, what, me? It's surreal to like hear someone say that about you when up until recently all you were doing was just never leaving your house and playing video games like all day every day, and hearing like passive aggressive comments from people. Wait one second.
And yeah, Nick Bro, I have a podcast. It's called Host in the Shell Podcast. I interview different creative people. And we had a bit of a break because of my big event stream. But I do this like once a month, basically. Once a month, once every 2 months, I do my podcast episode. And very soon, there will also be a blog on my website. And there you can read more about YNO Project and Yumituki. That will be the first blog entry. So if you're into that, might be worth checking that out. I do lots of different things on stream. So you might not even have seen all of the different things that I do, but I try to interview lots of different people and learn from them, and it's been a lot of fun. If you want to rewatch some of the old episodes, you can find them on my YouTube page. There are, I think all the episodes are there. There's one episode that I still need to edit that is missing, but I might rework that into a written article as well, just kind of for archival purposes. But yeah.
I'm very lucky that I have like a really supportive circle around me, so
like I think that's one of the most important things, because that can really like make or break you, I kind of feel like.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like having people that actually support what you do, even if they don't really get it. It's just like having that positive atmosphere around you. It can help encourage you a lot, definitely.
How was it like when you went to Japan? Would you say that would you say that there was like a lot of cultural differences? Like, what did you like the most about going to Japan?
I wouldn't say, like, compared to like how I'm used to living my life, I wouldn't say that there were that many cultural differences. If anything, it was nice being able to meet so many of the people that I've spoken to online for so long, like in person. Because there's loads of people in the music scene that I've talked to online and that I've listened to their music, and it was only a couple months ago that I was actually able to meet a lot of them, and it was just great. I think I probably drank too much because the yen's so low.
The soju
So everything
got
was
to
cheap.
you.
Yeah.
and
But-
thrall to the soju.
I want more soju, but that's besides the point. It was just so nice. I can't wait to go back. I'm planning on going back again, I think, for Christmas, New Year, because I have a lot of time off from work anyway. Yeah, I can't wait to go back. I miss it so much. I miss the food as well. The food's so good.
And Sunnyshine says, can you dethrone the Queen challenge? DJ Saria versus DJ Digi in a DJ mixing battle, and the best sounds voted by the viewers. I think that wouldn't even be a competition. I think that would be just a publicly me roasting event. I think I would love to learn from Saria, but I'm nowhere near ready for any sort of competition. But coaching might be fun. Learning more about music, I would really do enjoy.
I would be more than happy to teach you.
I think that would honestly be amazing. That would honestly, I would enjoy that a lot.
I think anyone can DJ. As long as you have an interest in music, anyone can.
Yeah, Digi's been real quiet since Saria stepped to the mic. I think, like, I can't really make music, so I have Ableton and I have a MIDI keyboard. The most that I can do making music wise is putting a sample in and like putting a delay on that and like using the piano roll. That's the extent of what I can do. Like I made like a little piano track, but that's all I can do. I have a friend and they wanna teach me music, so they gave me like music homework. And they were like, okay, so you have 2 weeks. You're gonna make a track and you're gonna use automation and like sidechain ducking. I'm like, whoa. I barely know where things are. I barely know how to like save my song and like render it out. Like, what do you mean? But I've recently gained access to Serum and to Omnisphere. So big things are coming.
It sounds like big things are coming.
Big things are coming in the Digiverse. I would love for people to teach me the basics of Ableton because I'm always so lazy to learn the technical aspect. Like I really enjoy the creative aspect, but I'm like, hell no, am I watching like a 30-minute YouTube video about like one thing? I'm like, oh, I know I have to do it, but because of the big debut and stuff this week, I just simply did not have the time. The website is the next thing that will launch like next week with the first blog article. And then after the website has launched, we'll tackle music and art and maybe even some game making. Maybe some teaching Digi how to program streams soon.
To be fair though, even I'm with you with that on Ableton. Like the creative part is something I love, but when it comes to actually learning sound design, it's just, oh, it's so difficult.
It's like I understand very basic things. Like I understand how like virtual instruments work. I understand what like attack is. I understand what wet dry is. Like I understand the very basic concepts. But I saw the tutorial on automation. I'm like, wow, I'm completely lost. I am just a person has never been so lost. But the Digicore tunes are inevitable. They will come. There are big things on my hard drive. Good things, mind you. There are good things on my hard drive. It is
as
not
long as you
encrypted.
just keep it up. Just keep it up.
Yeah, I'll practice very hard. I'll practice very hard, and then maybe you can give me some advice. I would love to collab in any way, shape, or form. I mean, we already are collabing technically right now.
Yeah.
But I would love that.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll hit you up after the stream, and we will plan big things. Big things will be coming.
More big things will be coming.
You can
more
hardly
big
believe
things will
it.
be coming.
That will be the title of our first set together.
Big things coming.
The big things coming set. But yeah, it's been it's a wow. Someone says we need like a shock collar challenge. I think that's a little bit too intense. I think that's a little bit too intense for for what we're doing here.
DJ, don't say big things coming challenge, brackets, impossible.
Impossible, gone sexual. But yeah, it was lovely to have you here. Thank you so much for taking your time to answer all of my questions and tell us about the big things that are indeed coming.
Thank you so much for inviting me to your podcast so I could talk about all the big things coming.
And then when you go to Japan, I'll have to ask you to grab me some things.
Of course.
Oh, let me cough real quick. 1 second. It's very funny. I have a wish list of doujin books that I'm trying to acquire, but for some reason, whenever I reach out to my to my friends in Japan. They're like, oh, I went to like this big bookstore yesterday. I'm not going there again. And I'm like, oh, okay.
It's like the come on, it's like you live there. It's not fair. You don't get
It's
it.
so unfair. I'm like, can you please order me this one book from Mandarake? Can you please order me this one book that I want to read? And they're like, I'm sorry, I'm already in a totally different part of Japan. I'll not order the book. I'm like, oh, I'll pay you double, please. Make it happen. They're like, no. Okay.
I will absolutely buy you things when I get there.
Oh, you're so cute. You're so sweet.
Especially if you give me a list in
reimburse you.
advance, then there's no way that won't be happening.
Oh, don't worry. I have the list like saved up. I've saved I like sent the same list to people for the past 6 months. There has been no movement on those items. They're still on Mandarake. Every day I'm like checking the listing and they're still there. I'm like, okay, nice. I live another day.
Oh.
But you would do me and the Dojin Enjoyer community a big service if you would give me those.
Of course.
Thank you. And we, of course, let's listen to your song again. Let's listen again. You can you wait, you send me the link, right? Yeah, I have the link here. Yeah, let me just post your link tree. So here is the link tree. And we'll listen to the song again.
My socials, the song, and then my event stuff is on there as well.
Yeah. All right, let me put the song on again. That's gonna be our outro music today. So
Amazing,
everyone, please say, Saria, thank you for the music. And I'll put you on the link in description, exactly. So please say thank you for the... Oh wait, I need to actually copy the music again. Oops, that's awkward. Here, so let's go to this. All right, thank you for the music. I'm gonna pause this and serenade your ears. You should be enjoying it now. It should be there now. And we'll let you guys enjoy the music. In the meantime, I'll find someone to raid.
Thank you so much, everyone. It's been so nice.
It's been a lovely time. It's been wonderful. You're such a sweet person. I want to hang out more with you. You're very sweet.
Likewise.
Alright, let's find someone to raid. Do you have someone in the music sphere that you would like to raid today? Is there one of your friends live, maybe?
I think everyone's offline. It's actually Sunday.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Also, Sky, thank you! And Suno, thank you! Goodbye, Buffas! Thank you, everyone! Dirtbush Bird, yeah, enjoy War and Thunder. Have a good time. Oh, I think that was the short edit there. But let's see. I still have the music here. Here. Don't worry. It won't go without music.
Give it to me straight.
You have to have music. You have to have music.
And let me give it back.
My whole life.
All right. Good night. Thank you. Bye bye.
Hey everyone. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And let me find someone to raid. I think they're raiding Eclipse today. They're playing some Yu-Gi-Oh! So enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh, guys. We'll play Yu-Gi-Oh! Next week, and I'll put my schedule online.
React.
Goodbye. Good night.